What's up, Skate Athletics fam? Here's an active mobility routine to help you address some joint tightness issues. This is low-key pretty hard and will challenge you to get into some pretty deep positions. If you want to start with something a little easier, click the link in the top right-hand corner. Throughout the entire routine, I'd like you to keep two things in mind. Number one, try your best. Number two, try to control your breathing. Try to breathe in through your nose slowly for roughly 3 seconds, and then slowly exhale for another 3 to 5 seconds during each exercise or stretch. Although this routine may get difficult, keep in mind it's here to improve your flexibility and mobility, and this cannot be accomplished if you're tense the entire time. Just embrace the stretch. We're going to begin with our downward dog to seal stretch. Start in a push-up position, then send your hips up and back, reaching your butt to the sky. As you move your hips back, push your chest forward while trying to depress and slightly retract your shoulder blades. As you move into scapular stability, you will begin to feel a deep lat stretch, a bit of thoracic extension, and some rotator cuff activation. Once you've established shoulder stability, try your best to maintain a neutral lumbar spine by keeping your pelvis in what is going to seem like an anterior rotated position. Remember, a neutral spine means a slight lumbar arch. By creating shoulder, spine, and pelvic stability, you will now feel a stretch in the intended muscles. The main three places you should feel this are deep in your lats, the anterior side of your thoracic spine, aka your intercostals and pecs, and a hamstring/calf stretch. Now we're going to transition to the seal stretch. Slowly move back into a push-up position, rolling through your spine. Now let your hips come to the mat, bringing your spine into slight extension. Squeeze your glutes, depress and retract your shoulders as you take a deep breath. This stretch is intended to open up your chest, abs, and hip flexors. If this places a lot of stress on your lower back, feel free to place your legs on the ground and only extend to a comfortable position. You can even drop to your elbows. While we roll through the sequence, focus on taking a deep breath in each position. Try to inhale deeply through your nose for about 3 seconds and exhale as slowly as you can each time. The goal is to keep your mind clear, calm, and connected to your muscles. Next is by far the hardest exercise. Return back to your push-up position, then bring your left foot into the deep lunge position. While you're here, keep your left foot onto the ground while you try to abduct and externally rotate your left femur away from your body. Squeeze your right glute while trying to keep that extended leg as straight as possible, then depress and retract your shoulders as you puff up your chest. You should feel a stretch on the inside of your left leg and just in front of your right hip. Next, we're going to transition to the straight leg hamstring stretch by using your front leg to push the ground away and trying to keep your hands on the floor. Try your best to straighten that front leg as you keep your back leg straight and pointed straight ahead. Don't worry too much about your back grounding. Breathe and embrace the hamstring stretch. Next, we're going to transition to a deep side lunge on your right side. Rotate your right foot roughly 90 to 100 degrees and sit back into a deep squat/lunge position. While you're here, do your best to use proper mechanics, such as hinging your hips back, externally rotating and abducting your right femur as you do your best to maintain a neutral spine. With your left leg, either keep your foot flat on the ground or allow your toes to elevate like I am in the video. Now drive the ground away from you and return to that original deep lunge position. Then repeat. go ahead and switch sides. Next, we're going to just straight up do some push-ups, but focusing on perfect form. Place your hands directly under your shoulders, then depress and slightly retract your shoulders. If you're having trouble feeling this, imagine that your hands are in a sandbox. Grab the stand and externally rotate your hands just slightly, as if you're locking them in place, and your shoulders should follow. Brace your abs, maintain a neutral spine, and slowly lower yourself to the ground for about 4 to 5 seconds. We're going to pause at the bottom for roughly 4 to 5 seconds as well, and use this as an opportunity to reset your shoulders. Depress them away from your ears, maintaining shoulder stability. After the pause, push yourself back up with some force, take a breath, and repeat. Next, we have a deep squat hold. Walk your feet towards your hands and drop your hips back into a deep squat position. Take a comfortable stance and do your best to maintain a neutral spine with your shoulders down and back like always. Try your best to keep your feet relatively straight forward while you abduct and accidentally rotate your femurs away from you. I like to use my elbows for a great adductor stretch. Focus on your breath. We're going to hold this for roughly a minute. If this gets way too gnarly, feel free to use something for support or elevate your heels. and relax. Feel free to stand up, drop to your knees, or just shake out your hips real quick. When you're ready, we're going to supplement our deep squat with another adductor opener. Start in a half kneeling position, then angle your front foot roughly 45 degrees from your body's center line. Before you start, take a little step away so your knee is starting at an angle a little greater than 45 degrees. Slightly internally rotate your right leg, squeeze your right glute, then lean towards your left foot. As you lean into the stretch, be sure to abduct your left knee, and you should feel a deep stretch in your left abductor and your right hip flexor muscles. Play with different positions and do what feels best. We're going to repeat this for 5 reps on each side. Just remember, as you move into it, the most important thing is to try to abduct that working leg. Switch sides. Next, we're moving on to a kneeling quad and hip flexor stretch. Come back to your deep lunge position, bringing your left foot just outside your hand. But this time, keep your right knee on the ground. Reach around with your left hand and grab your right foot/right shin. You may need to use a yoga strap, towel, or whatever you need to do this. Once you're here, lightly squeeze your right glute as you push your hips forward and depress your shoulders. You will probably feel this all over. Just focus on your breath. Okay, switch sides. Bring your right foot up, reach back with your right hand to grab your left shin or foot, squeeze your left glute, push your hips forward, and depress your shoulders. Next, we have an easy kneeling hamstring stretch. Send your left leg out and keep your left ankle dorsiflexed. Then send your hips back as you bring your chest forward. As you can tell, I have pretty tight hamstrings, so just do your best to relax in this position. If you can straighten out your back, great. If not, it's all good. Feel free to use a yoga block, a book, or something to put your hands on so you can just relax into the stretch. Once again, just focus on your breath. Alright, let's go ahead and switch sides. Alright, everything from here on out is going to be really easy and relaxing. Lie down and take some time to relax your body. When you're ready, reach your hands out to the side and bring your right knee towards your chest. Now bring your knee across your midline as you try to maintain contact with the ground with your right shoulder or hand. As your knee falls towards the floor, rotate your hips while trying to stabilize your thoracic spine. Once your knee is close to the ground, straighten out your leg and let the weight of your leg just return your pelvis to the ground. Feel free to use your left hand to assist your right leg during this process. Reset your hips as needed and repeat this 4 times. As you roll through this motion, you should feel a nice stretch in your thoracic and lumbar spine as well as your glutes. Alright, let's go ahead and switch sides. Next, we have the classic lying piriformis stretch, also known as lying vigor 4. Place your left ankle on top of your right knee. Bring your right knee towards your chest as you reach through your legs with your left hand to grab your right hamstring. Or further bend into the stretch and grab your knee. Once you have your grip, drive your left knee away from your body as you press your shoulders against the ground. Once in this position, you should feel a deep stretch in your left glute/hip muscles and maybe in your left adductor. As usual, focus on your breath and just try to relax. Okay, switch sides. last stretch we're going to do is another one for our adductor/groin. Try to relax your back, then open your hips by connecting your feet and letting your knees fall all the way to the ground. Depress your shoulders, open up your chest, and just relax. I'm going to sit here for a solid minute, and I recommend you do the same. Reflect on how you feel after this practice, and take note which movements you like and which ones you need to work on. Let's breathe through the nose for about 4 seconds, and then slowly exhale out your mouth for 5 to 6 seconds. Great job getting through this routine. It's definitely a tough one, but I'm sure it highlighted some areas of tightness or weakness. It sure did for me. Alright fam, catch you guys next time on Skate Athletics.